Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz and welcome to a special economic weather report brought to you in association with ASB. Today we're looking at the Treasury's December Economic and Fiscal Update, snappily titled the DEFU. This really is all about what the government is saying about the economy and its own finances. And it's very important to give us an idea of how much debt the government's going to get into, what might happen to long-term interest rates over the next couple of years, and whether or not we might be needing some tax increases or what might the government have in terms of ammunition to fight this recession. While the Treasury's come out with its forecasts and has downgraded its view of what economic growth will do over the next 4 or 5 years, it has increased its forecasts for unemployment and sees big increases in the budget deficits and in the government's debt. Trouble is, these forecasts were finalised on November the 20th, and so much has happened since then. The world's economy is heading deeper into recession, and many economists are saying that pessimistic view that Treasury took on November 20th isn't nearly pessimistic enough. Let's have a look at the numbers then. Treasury have come out and said it doesn't see really any growth in all of 2009 and early 2010. That is quite a deterioration from the forecast it made just before the election in the snappily titled PREFU, Pre-Election Fiscal Update. It also sees the budget deficit blowing out to $6.3 billion a year from $3.1 billion that it saw just a few months ago, and about $500 million deficit now, so $6 billion deeper in the red will be. It sees that deficit peaking at about 3% of GDP by 2010 and 11, although some economists are saying things have deteriorated so much since when the forecasts were finalised that we could actually get up to 5% of GDP. That would be a budget deficit of more than $10 billion a year. All of this means the government will be issuing more bonds to pay for this. And we're going to see the new bond issues rise from about $1.8 billion this year to $15.8 billion by 2012 and 13. This will mean debt, government debt as a proportion of GDP is likely to double from about 17.5% to over 33% by the end of the forecast period. Now this is plainly unsustainable, and Bill English, the finance minister, has said so. He says we've got to do something to avoid getting the debt right up there and to make sure that the budget moves back into some sort of surplus at some stage. He says he won't allow it to get that bad, but he hasn't given any ideas on how that's going to happen. What will it mean? A cut in spending? Some sort of tax increase? We don't know. And really, the next year or two, it's highly unlikely the government will try to do anything like that. In fact, if you look at the forecast, it's actually pumping more money into the economy. So there we have it, the Treasury's December Economic and Fiscal Update, the DEFU, and unfortunately the news is bad. I'm Bernard Hickey. That was an economic weather report brought to you in association with ASB.